let's start and we'll see who signs, who comes in. There's a lot of people that are missing. A couple people that already texted say they apologize for not going to be able to make it, which is fine. And but it will be posted online. So, does everyone here know my story? And so I won't have to go through it.
Yes.
All right, great.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a good story.
it is a good story. I have fun with it. All right, well, Paul, and so what I work with is the energy in God. We all have it. We're all a part of it. It's a natural part of us. We're born with it, and it's just a part of our lives. Are there any questions or anything I can try to answer or work with? Sue's not going to be able to join us tonight, right? Is that correct, Lynn?
Right. That's correct. Yes.
All right, good.
Unfortunately, she's not able to join us.
A lot of challenging questions, and I love that.
Oh.
So, and she's in Arizona. There's a few things I want to mention. I keep seeing the screen change, so I guess it's in different sequence, but then it goes back and whatever. So I think someone's coming on, so they're not.
Oh, are you in gallery view?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is, it's fine. I like it. You know, I don't mind.
That's the best. There you go. You're seeing Elizabeth. Oh, there's Myrna.
Hi, Myrna. Elizabeth, hi. Now, what you can do, you guys, is turn on, at the bottom left-hand corner is the audio and video. If you can click on that, that'd be great. Are you there, Myrna?
Oh, there she is.
Yay. Hi, Myrna. There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
You're in the car too?
Yes.
I'm pretty impressed.
It's a nice traveling night.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. We're almost home, but not quite.
All right, great.
I'm glad to see you here.
Yeah. And hi, Argel.
He's coming. He'll be joining. He probably won't join because he'll drive, but you know he'll probably drive for 15 minutes and then he'll join us.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
All righty. And Elizabeth, if you're having difficulty, you can go to the left-hand corner. On the bottom of the screen is the mic and the video.
Yeah, is the mic working? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hi there. I don't have video.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Where are you from, Elizabeth?
California. I saw you out here a couple years ago when you did your class.
Oh my God. Okay, great.
It was awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining. How did you hear about this?
Your emails. I'm on your newsletter, your emails.
Oh, fantastic. Yay. Someone actually read it.
Yay, they work.
I'm impressed. Good job, man. She got it out. I'm happy. All right. There might be a lot more people joining us as we go on, or maybe not. I don't know. A lot signed up for it, so we'll find out.
Actually, that brings up a really good point, Mark. As there's more people coming on, sometimes if you realize that there's noise in your background, whether it's shuffling papers or moving, you might want to consider muting your microphone because it does overpower the individual speaking.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Great.
And again, it's just a matter of the bottom left-hand corner. There's a little microphone and it says mute right beside it. And when you're muted, it changes to unmute.
And when you want to say something or ask a question, unmute it, please.
And you'll have a little message come up. If you start speaking and you're muted, it'll say, you are muted, by the way. So, yeah. So
All right, great.
Thank you, everyone.
I really want to welcome everyone here. It's an honor, to be hosting this with y'all. And a lot of my old friends here too, which is great. And I'll give you everything I possibly can. So this is only for a short time, and I'll just give you everything I can in this period of time. Please feel free to ask questions. It's really important for y'all. And just enjoy it, ask freely. And if I'm on a diatribe about something, wait until I finish and then ask a question. Other than that, or make a statement, if someone wants to say something they've observed or they understand or that they've experienced, fantastic. I'm all for it. And let's see. There's a few things I want to mention. In January, let me get my book here. In January, I'm going to be starting the online Spiritual Healing 2 class. As for anyone who's taken the Spiritual Healing 1 or anyone who's taken any of my classes at all, it'll be a 3-week thing like this, and it'll be for an hour and a half each time. They get pretty in-depth and very esoteric at times, but everyone will come out with an understanding and of what we're talking about as far as healing goes. And it gets into the metaphysical, it gets into the adeptship, it gets into just all kinds of stuff pertaining to healing and intuition. So please feel free. And let's see, what else?
That's fantastic, Mark. How do we register?
Through the website or Facebook. And it will be, Lynn will be putting it up and posting it if it's not already on the website.
Okay.
So please feel free to register for that. It is $92 for the 3 weeks and for the hour and a half each time. It's so worth it, I believe. I give everything in my heart. I'm very open, and I go along with the group mind. I don't stick to a particular program. It's where the people want to go in depth with it. And that's why I really request that people have the experience of hearing me teach or being present in a class. So I've offered the Spiritual Healing 1 several times, and now it's time for Spiritual Healing 2 starting in January. So other than that, there's, let's see, in January on the 8th is the next Healing Circle online, and that will also be announced. I will be moving to Boulder and making that announcement. It's not totally public yet. A lot of people, it doesn't matter where I am. In Colorado, people will come to see me, and also in I'll be traveling around doing the workshops still. So let's see. Oh, the Spiritual Healing 2 workshop, that $92 workshop, that will be on the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st of January. And a really neat thing is that I'll be going to Phoenix on the 11th of January. And I'll be seeing people by appointment there, but I'll also be having a 3-day apprentice training. And anyone who's taken the apprentice training before, it's half price. And anyone who wants to take it for the first time, please, it's an opportunity of a lifetime, I think, when I do offer it. So that's January 11th, 12th, and 13th. That'll be in Scottsdale. And either me or Sue Cavus, that'll also, the phone numbers will also be announced there on the website and and on Facebook as well. And let's see what else. And then the last week in January, I'll be doing a free healing circle in Dallas at a Unity church there, Unity of Dallas. And then on Saturday, I'll be doing the workshop, and then I'll be having 3 days of appointments there if anyone's interested. So that's it for the schedule.
And
yes.
I can definitely say that that's all up on the internet right now. Yeah. So if you want to register for any of those events, you can do so at this time. And you just have to go to the newsletter on the markgerlichs.com website.
Yes, please sign up for it if you're not already. I don't sell the names to anyone. They're private. And every other week I'll be sending an update, or Lynn will, of the newsletter. So any questions or anything I can try to answer, please. I'll be seeing people for appointments here in Chicago. Let's see, I guess until I think around December 20th. And then I'm going to start packing. It's usually the last minute. And then I'm going to head out to Colorado and do our thing. So,
yeah. Mark, I don't have a question. I just have gratitude for your Nightingale Conant program, Awaken the Healer Within. I love it. I still listen to it.
oh, thank you for getting it. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm really grateful for that. Someone bought it. And,
That's how I found you originally.
oh my gosh, okay. All right, great. That's awesome. And if you've done that, that also qualifies you for the Spiritual Healing 2 class.
Okay.
And so that's good.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. I did find it. I was going to the wrong place, but I went to the newsletter tab and I found it. It's all registered.
Oh, good.
Oh, awesome.
Any question? This is real casual, so please, before we start anything, are there any questions or comments or anything I can try to answer or help with? Please. Anything, Paul?
Can
Or
you hear people on the
phone? I found you on the Nightingale Conant. I got the program too long ago.
yay!
There's two of us.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thanks for getting it. And I hope it was good for you all.
Very.
Yes.
Excellent. Someone
Content rich.
I'm sorry?
Content rich. Lots and lots of good stuff.
Fantastic. I try to give as much as I can for every session, that I see people personally or a telephone appointment. I try to give as much as I can in every class. Whatever anyone wants to mention or talk about, we'll see if we want to go there. And that's why I can't have a format that's so stringent. And I know the things that I want to cover, but at the same time, I want to keep it, legit for everyone. And where they've had questions for years or days or their entire life or whatever. Hey, Argel, how you doing? It was good to see you, Argel. All right. Please, any questions or comments I could try to answer?
You can try and talk now.
Oh, hi, Mark. It's Argel.
Yeah, Argel. Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good, good. Getting to know Zoom here.
Excellent. I'm beginning to like it a lot. Lynn presented it to me, and I'm appreciating it.
Yeah,
So,
comes in handy.
yes.
Good
Yeah.
job, Lynn.
Thanks.
All right. Please, questions, comments about anything about healing or God, my belief in God, or anything you want, please. Anything. Mary, do you have anything you'd like to ask about?
This Mary?
I'm
I'm sorry?
When you said Mary, I didn't know if you meant me,
Yes.
Mary. Okay. I'm definitely needing to take your class. I plan to do that in 2019. So having done, some Reiki class and empathic healing training. But I just feel like there's so much more that I want to do in sharing the healing through, God's healing energy. And is there one particular hint that you would say for all of us to just give us a technique for staying in that holy space?
Yes. Yeah. I think the most important thing is to be conscious that there's a divinity within us that was first, that was before us. And if we can keep that in mind, then it has almost like permission to come forth from us freely. That's coming from the heart. Very, very important. And sometimes to tap into it, it takes contemplation and meditation. And it doesn't have to be, something, I learned how to meditate, but I don't know how to, or I don't get answers. The idea is to wonder about things and let the answers come to you without you thinking them out. That's, in a sense, our proof that God is alive and well within us, and it's communicating with us. And the more often we do that, the more it loves to share with us. Most important. That's almost like a beginning in some sense, but it's also there to be developed, and it's never ending. Ever. I hope that answers your question.
That was a beautiful answer. I'm writing it down as you're speaking, and I will take that into my meditation. Thank you, Mark.
My pleasure, my honor, honor. Paul, was there a question you had, Paul?
Oh, I've actually been dealing with a health issue for about 8 years. I'll be 59 next month, and my nervous system just kind of went out of whack, and I couldn't sleep. And the doctors were, "You have anxiety." And I've never been an anxious person in my life, and nobody had any answers except to take some anxiety medication, and that led me down kind of a really dark hole. And I actually had a private session with you maybe 5-6 years ago when I was on medication. I mean, it really affected me mentally, like really bad, where I didn't even want to live. And you kind of gave me a wake-up call, almost very stern. And it was almost shocking, which is something I needed at the time. And I ended up getting off the medication, which I've been off for 4 years. But I still have these. And then I found some really caring alternative practitioners who determined that it was Lyme disease. So I'm feeling, the anxiety has pretty much gone, except in situations. But I feel like there's an alien inside of me. There's whatever organisms that are still going at it. I've taken all kinds of natural supplements now. I haven't been on any medications at all. So it's been really helpful. I've been doing, I've tried just about everything. I've been practicing TM for, I think, the first year. Somebody introduced me to that, and that's been immensely helpful on some of the most fatigued days. But mentally, I feel really good now, but it's just my body still has this sickness, and I'm trying to, how do I deal with that? I've been, another friend that introduced me to, I don't know if you know this, Anthony William, the medical medium, that book. And that information really, really resonated with me. I was like, finally, like, wow, this person really knows the path that I've been walking. So I've been following those eating protocols and avoiding certain foods to feed the pathogen. But
do you notice a difference in the way you feel since you've been following his protocol?
I have, but it's still, it's still up and down, and I've got a busy. I'm in sales, and I don't know how I've made it through some days, but you know, we moved from a little farm in north central Illinois. Now we're back in the western suburbs of Chicago.
Wow.
And I know you moved back to Chicago too. I think I talked to you. Were you in New Mexico or Arizona half a dozen years ago?
Yeah. Arizona.
And so my commute used to be horrendous. It was like 3 hours plus then driving in the car for work, just so we could live on our little piece of paradise, which was great. And now our kids are all grown, and now my commute is less. And this has just been the last month. We finally sold our place, and so it's still the whole selling process was very stressful. So I think that had an effect. I kind of took a step back from where I was at, but you know, just trying to still find my way and, you know, get my body back to being well.
Sure. I'll tell you what. Am I correct in suggesting that your lower body, from your waist down, and your head are mostly affected, and your hands?
Well, my hands are cold a lot, but I you know, I've lost weight too. It's my metabolism has changed, and I'm like 140 pounds. So
Yes.
when you say lower body, probably digestion. Food is still like you know, getting different information even from the you know, that Anthony William book. It's like, what do I eat? You know, avoid gluten, dairy, pork, eggs. And, you know, I was eating a lot of eggs because we had our own little organic farm that we raised our own chickens, and which we don't have anymore. But yes.
All right, Paul. Let's not get into too much detail.
Right.
I want to try to work with other people too. But what I'd like to do. Are you sitting down now?
I am. I'm not quite home yet. I had a business function tonight, but I'm still driving.
Oh, okay. Is there any way you can pull over just for a moment?
Yeah, just in a minute I'll have a spot where I can.
All right,
I just got off the highway.
Let me know when you're pulled over, because I want to do something. Okay.
Okay.
All righty.
Yeah, it'll be another minute or two.
That's fine. Christina, how you feeling?
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
I'm doing good. Much better. But you'll never believe it. I broke out in the rash again.
Okay.
But I figured out what it is.
Excellent.
Steve made a new recipe with shiitake mushrooms.
There you go.
And I had an allergic reaction to the shiitake mushrooms.
All right. And some people do.
Yes. And it was interesting because I woke up yesterday morning and I'm like, why is this happening again? And I was telling Steve about it. And what was interesting is I really kind of was wondering, like you talked about, and the word, like I actually heard in my head, it's the mushrooms.
All right.
And so then I started thinking like, oh yeah, we had mushrooms a few weeks ago, and then we had the same recipe this weekend. And sure enough,
Okay.
that was it. So
glad you found out.
We did.
Glad you found out, hon.
I know, you and me both. It was driving me crazy. But you know, the one thing I noticed this time when I had the reaction is that it was a little bit more like internal. Where I could feel it in my mouth, in my nostrils, in my ear.
And I'll tell you, Christina, the more often you have it, the more intense the reaction is going to be now that your body knows that it's bruised like that.
Right.
Affected by those.
Yeah,
So,
I don't plan on eating them.
All right.
And I don't plan on making it again.
Yeah, and check with restaurants when they're putting the stuff in, mushrooms
Right.
and ask them what kind. Good. It's almost someone like peanut allergy.
Okay.
The more often, the more intense. Renate, please, anything that's bugging you in your body.
No, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just, I was curious when you posted this, you were going to have it, so I had never participated in one of these before with you. So
Oh,
I thought,
wonderful. Yeah, I'm so
try.
glad. Thank you.
No, but I am feeling good. I'm not experiencing any physical problems right now that I can tell.
Excellent, excellent. Mary?
And
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
I'm pulled over now. So and
Okay,
this is the
great.
first one I've done one of these too. So I didn't know how big the group was, or if I didn't even get a chance to bring this up. But thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. All right, now, what I'd like you to do, I'd like you to sit back in your car, and what I want you to do is to imagine that my hands are on your head, or you might sense them. Tell me when you can sense them, okay?
Okay.
And can you feel them?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do is you tell me what's happening inside your body as we go on, but not too much detail, just this very exact detail, and cut it short.
Okay. Feel sort of a heaviness in my chest.
All right, good. It's good. It's not good, but it's good. That means it's
Okay.
it's going to do something. This is also
Now I'm feeling
yeah.
I'm feeling sort of a tingling in more in my extremities, my hands and my legs.
All right, good, good. And I don't know if you can remember it, but I don't know if it was either at the age of 5 or the age of 7, or both, that there was this huge, huge disappointment in your life.
Yes. Well, the only thing I can remember from that age was having my tonsils taken out. It's still a vivid memory when it comes to light like this. It was very frightening, especially at the hospital. Being before, like I said, I'm almost 60 now, so it was before they let parents stay with kids, and my parents were leaving the night before the surgery, and I was literally that the nurses had to hold me down. I was so scared.
What I want you to do is to go back to remember that very objectively, just observing it, not reacting, just looking at you. And I want that young man to realize that you're free. You're free. Imagine saying that. What does that feel like now, right there? You had it for a moment.
It was almost sort of levitating a little bit, like I had chills all over.
Now imagine saying it again at that age, watching yourself saying it right after the surgery, waking up, realizing it, that you're free, you're free. There.
Mm-hmm. Is this my you say my elder self telling this to my younger self?
No, your elder self is just watching your younger
Just
self
observing?
experiencing that.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Almost like you're wanting to jump up and saying you're free, but you can't because you're still in a hospital bed.
Right.
And you can't wait to get out of there because knowing that all the stuff, all the symptoms are going to be gone. No more sore throats, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
There.
Yes.
All right, good. There. Now, what I'd like you to do is to move around a little bit. Tell me if you notice any difference in your body yet. And be candid.
I do feel lighter.
Let's see what more happens.
Sigh.
Excellent. Excellent. Hi, Joseph.
So I guess, can I follow up, or?
Yes, go ahead, please.
That's with the way I've this kind of sick feeling in my body, which has been there for quite a while. I feel like, okay, I can't really, like, I can't escape it.
Yeah.
You know, it's always there. It comes and goes, but and I just want to, like, you know, get rid of it.
Sure. Sure. And are you feeling that sick feeling in your body now?
Not at the moment.
No, you're not feeling it. When
Right.
it's not in the moment, then you're expecting it again. So for right this moment, right now, you don't have it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Excellent. Excellent. Let's see what more transpires from this. Sometimes what happens is most people tell me that right away they feel a change in their life or they're healed. But I also know that that's not the end of the story. There's always more to it. So some people will say as soon as they walk out the door or after seeing me or talking with me on the telephone, either after we hang up or they leave or whatever, or they're walking down the street 2 weeks or 2 months later saying, oh my God, when did this leave me? I don't know when or how or why, what's going to transpire in that healing process. And that's one of the things you just went through in your life. You'll find that out. Or sometimes with people, they finally find a cause. You knew it was, my perspective is that that's what happened, or else I wouldn't have seen that at the age of 5 or 7, whenever you were having the trauma of that. And then that created the bruise in your life, which created other things to happen where you didn't have to have your tonsils repeatedly taken out, but other things happened to pick up the injury of that bruise. So now you no longer have to go through that because you've recognized that. So something's going to change. That's what it's telling me. Does that make sense at all?
Yes.
Okay, let's see what happens. And
okay,
don't believe that it's too good to happen, because that will be a defeating factor as well.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And Mary, is there anything that's bugging you at all? Did I ask you already?
No, that's okay. last month you worked with my thyroid, and I did want to let you know that when I swallow, it doesn't seem like that lump is quite there the way it was before. So won't know any results till March when they retest the blood work. But
Okay.
I think that there was some good work being done there. So the other thing that if you could just send me some energy, I'm also dealing with some osteoporosis in my hips and spine, and I do resistance training, and I do take my calcium, and I'm doing the things that the endocrinologist wants me to do, but it just keeps going up and down based on every 2 years I have to do an infusion of some medicine. So anything you can do to just let my body better absorb calcium and build those bones, I would appreciate it.
Sure. What I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is work a little bit more on the thyroid.
Okay, I appreciate that too, yes.
All right, because that's a big regulator in your body.
Okay.
And there's also processing in there as well, the chemicals in your body that happen.
Okay.
So let me work with that a little bit. And you tell me if you might sense something happen. And be candid, please.
Okay.
As subtle or as dramatic as it may be.
Well, there's something that just is like little pinpricks.
That's light. I call it porcupine quills of light.
Okay.
And light has a consciousness. It has an intelligence. It knows what to do and how to do it. We're just kind of like vehicles for it to express through. And it's based upon our intent. And that's how healing works. There was a little bit of an intensity a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
What are you sensing right now? Be candid.
Well, I'm tuning into a lot of love energy that just seems to be trying to radiate from that area. Whether that's what I want to feel or that's what you're sending, I don't know. But there's some emotional releasing happening.
Just enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just enjoy it. Let it just satiate you.
It's like it wants to release for some reason there's some sadness that needs to be let go of associated with my throat.
Laughter's your answer.
Okay. Thank you. There's some releasing. Thank you.
Find your answer. Laughter's your answer. Find it. How do you feel in that area now? Just candidly.
Soft, a little softer.
Good. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
My honor. My pleasure. Myrna, anything at all, please.
Let's see. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for having this Healing Circle. I'm very privileged to be a part of it. It's interesting that people have talked a lot about the foods they eat in the digestive system, because I feel like my digestive system's been off for quite a while. And as I'm listening to you have this conversation with others in the healing group, I'm thinking, well, has it really been a year, or has it been far longer than that?
For identifications?
Yeah, yeah. So it's been that. I don't know if my whatever's going on in my digestive system just is contributing to me feeling so like not motivated. They say that the digestive system's like the real brain of the body. So
I've
I
heard
don't
that
know.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a sluggishness. That's what I
Yeah.
get.
Mm-hmm.
And but there's also, as we look inside of ourselves, we can find sluggishness in our being, on this orb that we live in, and in our dynamics of everything around us in life. It's a part of us to fit in with the sluggishness because we don't feel that we're satisfied in some way. Even though we've taken care of ourselves to some degree, and we're very happily, with someone or by ourselves or whatever, there's still a sluggishness of a deeper dynamic I think that you're finding in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that sluggishness will actually begin to dissipate in your life in a short time or a little bit longer. It doesn't matter. You'll find your satisfaction. That's where the sluggishness comes from. Previously being dissatisfied, not knowing that you wanted more, needed more.
Mm-hmm.
But those things are coming together in your life now.
Yes.
And so that's a good thing. What I can do silently is, if you don't mind, I'd love to ask a blessing on you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And the biggest thing that I got when I was asking that blessing was that you are accepted.
Mm.
And it's just
Thank you.
that. And the sluggishness came from in the past not being accepted.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That makes total sense.
But you are now in your life. You've developed into this in your life.
That's accurate. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, my total pleasure. All right. Hi, how are you?
Good. Late, but good.
That's okay. That's okay. So how you doing?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, gee. My foot needs some work.
Sure.
Both the top and the underneath.
Oh, all right. How does that feel to you?
It's all tingly up midway up my calf. So.
And can you step on it and tell me if you notice a difference in it?
Yes, I can bend my big toe now. Couldn't do that before. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Welcome, Jane. If you want, you can turn on the bottom left-hand corner is a audio or a and visual, whatever you choose. All right, moving right on. Elizabeth, please, is there anything? Elizabeth.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yes, only very mild though, but fatigue, just general fatigue. I've got 3 children, 15, 13, and 9 that keep me hopping. And I've got, I'm self-employed with my husband for aerospace. And then I'm helping start up a new company that's more my passion. It's health and nutrition, living a peak frequency life. So spread really thin and really stressed. So it's more the fatigue. It's hard to focus.
I think that keeping a level mind objectively is the answer to that. Then we expend less energy and we get more done. You know, you remind me of well, when I was in my order, living in an order house, I couldn't wait. My teacher told me to go to a chapel and live there in seclusion and isolation, where I wasn't allowed to talk with anyone or anything. And so that was my life for many, many, many months. And during that time, in seclusion and isolation, I couldn't wait till I got up in the morning where I could start my day doing prayer work, meditation, reading, and just contemplating. And so I would go to bed at night on the floor of the chapel, and that's where I slept, on the floor of the chapel, literally. And so I couldn't wait until I got up in the morning. So I found myself only getting 2 hours of sleep a night.
Wow.
And I wondered about that for months. And I was just full of energy, you know, all day long, and while there in the chapel. And I had my regular routine of praying, meditating, and contemplating and reading. That was it. That was my entire life. And also eating, but, you know, that was only 3 times a day. And not allowed to talk, but I didn't have any responsibilities during that time. And I learned, I was always curious about that, and I learned that the less responsibility, the less interaction, or the less reaction we have in our life, the more enlivened we become. And when we see ourselves in a lot of responsibility, that's a reaction. It's when things come naturally, what people mean by a reed in the water flowing. That's what it is. It's without exerting excess energy unnecessarily mentally.
Okay.
So that might be your answer. You remind me of that.
Okay.
Now I need 4 hours of sleep because I resist so much in life. But no, sometimes more, sometimes less. But I would like to get back to 2. So thank you for sharing your resistance with me so I can remember mine.
Okay, you're welcome.
Now you know what to do.
Yes.
And you'll probably be ahead of the ball game than me. So All right.
Thank you.
All right. And if you don't mind, I'd like
Thanks.
to a blessing on you as well, if you don't mind.
Oh, please, that'd be wonderful.
All right. You might experience something happening, hon.
I'm gonna mute because I've got kid and bird noise in the background. Lots of Christmas decorating happening.
That's fine. There you go. And just sit back and relax. All right, Elizabeth, I realize also, or I saw that, and you helped me to remember this too, you can do more with less resistance than you can with resistance.
Yeah, that makes sense to be more in the flow.
Yes, and everything becomes simpler and more enlivened and enlightened as you're doing that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You try to keep that in mind as
Okay.
often as you can. Then it becomes a pattern in your life.
Yeah, thank you.
Paul, question for you.
Yes.
Do you notice a difference?
Well, thanks for bringing that up too, the last one, because
Sure.
especially during everything that's gone on with my health in recent years, I've always dreamt of being at a monastery or on an island or somewhere to just away from all the busyness of and demands of my job and
I
everything
understand.
else.
I understand. But you're also a worrier too, so that contributes to it. And
Sure.
so the idea is to recognize when you're a worrier, and then, just looking at it. And as soon as you look at it and recognize it in yourself when you are in the act of it, then it stops. And every time it comes up, as you observe it, not reacting with it, not thinking about it, just observing it, then it stops for that moment or two. And then as you practice doing that, catching yourself and doing that, you no longer find yourself in it as often.
Mm-hmm.
A great exercise.
Yeah. I'll use that. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Jane. Oh, by the way, how do you feel in your body? Paul.
Good. A lot more relaxed.
Good. Good. Do you notice how you might not feel as crummy as you felt before?
Yes.
Good.
And I love what you said earlier. I just got on my notepad and jotted down about we're vehicles for light to express itself through.
Yeah.
And it does it by our intent. Is that I forget the second
real.
part,
It's
but
a
something
lie.
like that.
It's a lie. Then,
It's a lie by our intent.
no, it's a lie, knowing that, we're doing it all. It has nothing to do with us. This thing inside of us wants to express itself. We can still live our daily lives. We can still run a business. We can still do all kinds of things, but we'll end up doing more than we were when we were in control if we allow something else to take over for us, that divinity,
Mm-hmm.
godliness within. That's the original body that we're just formed around, and we've created our world around us of everything that we can identify with.
Right.
And we get to choose what we want to identify with. But as we choose a greater being within us, then we're giving it some of the responsibility, and we don't have to worry about it. Because it's taking over and doing a more perfect job for us, unbeknownst to us how it's happening. We don't have to figure that out. because it's doing it. It's preparing the people that we're going to be talking to later, because it knows we're coming there or doing that or talking to them or being in a group. It knows. So trusting is a great exercise. All right, Jane, I know you don't have a microphone, and you wanted me to work with your sinuses. Is that correct now, hon?
Yes. She also has another note. She sent another note saying that she says, I don't know if this is part of it, but my brother died suddenly in July. Very sad for them.
I know it's sad, and it's a weakening of the body as well, the deeper that issue is, and I understand that. You know, but death, we need death. We need death to awaken, whether it be keeling over and dying or going through experiences in life, like mourning is a death. Going through horrible emotional dilemmas or dramas or traumas is a death. Those deaths are needed. Death is important for awakening. Very, very important. So if we can, at times, you know, ask ourselves, what was your death? What was my death? My last death? If we can just ask ourselves that. And we ask ourselves, can I remember what my last death was? And we can go back in time, maybe a day or a week or a couple years or whatever, several months, whatever. Ask ourselves, what was our death? But we have to be honest with ourselves. It's asking what our death is. And then, when we can recognize a previous death, ask ourselves if we've awakened from it yet. Whether it be something horrible that happened with us or someone else that we were close with, what was our death? What was my last death? And then go back once you see that and ask yourself if you have awakened from that yet. Ask yourself why not, if you haven't. Or if you have, that means you've gone on. Because those on the other side, they're not dead anymore. We're the ones that took it personally to be bruised and carry it on. Sure, it's good to love and honor someone that has passed, but trust me, they're doing great. They are doing great. So, what I like to do is work a little bit with your sinuses. I understand, and that's okay, Jane. I'm going to work with your sinuses. Believe me, he's not cursed by God. So let me work with your sinuses. And type out if you feel that they're starting to drain. But this draining is different. Do you sense something happening inside of your head, Jane? Okay. It's just, you know, sitting back and relaxing, letting go of yourself, wondering what it might feel like if something was happening inside. I really believe you just experienced something real subtle. All right. Do you sense a lightness, Jane? Or a clarity? Please be candid with me and tell me if you feel it spreading a little bit or enlightening, becoming clear inside. Good. Now, tonight, if you were to say, when you go to sleep, before you go to sleep, imagining my hand still there and wondering what it's going to be like to wake up the next morning. Can you do that exercise? Good. Excellent. Excellent. Let's see what this develops into. And I'd love for you to come back in January to the circle, or if you ever have the opportunity. My honor, please. Okay, we've made up the 12 minutes that we've went over, that we started late with. Is there anyone else that wants to express anything or ask? Or
Yes, Mark,
please.
this is Renata.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to have some energy or healing. I'm due for surgery on Monday on the cornea of my left eye. I had surgery once before, but they took a great deal of it off, but there's one area that they didn't, and so they're going to go back and do that. So some healing for that.
Take off your glasses, please. That's what I asked for someone in front of me, but still. All right. And you tell me if you sense something happening, and be candid, please.
Okay. And the focus is going out of that eye.
The focus is going out?
Yeah.
Because my fingers are in your eye. Of course, yeah. Right there?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
It changed, the focus changed slightly.
Let's see what happens with that.
Okay.
All right, my pleasure, my pleasure.
Thank
You know,
you.
people have also told me that after I've worked with them and say they had a surgical procedure coming up or whatever, some doctors have said, I can't believe how much the skin has cooperated. I've never seen this before or
Right.
whatever. So we'll
Yeah.
see. All right.
See,
That's
okay. That'll
excellent.
be great. Thank you.
It's such an honor. And I really want to thank everyone very, very much for being here. And please, on the 8th, and those for the Healing Circle again at night. And check out the website, the newsletter. And also, what else? If anyone's in Arizona wants to do the apprentice training, let me know as soon as possible, please. We're going to start getting booked for that. And anything else? Anyone, please. The last question or comment, please. Nothing? All right.
Mark,
Yes,
Steve has a request.
please.
I was hoping you can give a blessing for my father. We had talked before about his dementia.
Yes.
It getting bad. It's gotten really bad lately. So I don't know. I don't even know really what to ask. I just know that my mother is dealing with
Yes.
a lot.
Yes. Asking peace on her. That's what I really
That's
want.
right. I guess what I'm looking for is that, and then some peace for my father, because he doesn't even recognize her most of the time. So I know it's hard for both.
Right. And he's not going to. He's not
I
going.
know.
What I'd like to do is work with your mom.
Okay.
She's going to be resolute where she's not going to take it as personal anymore. And
She needs that.
that's what I saw. So you'll see it graduating into that and starting very shortly. My
For
perception.
my father.
With your father, I'll ask for peace, but I don't know. He has the world behind him. So,
Yeah. Okay.
okay, I said a prayer for him.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure, my honor. Thank you all so very, very much. And please, if anyone's interested in an appointment, let me know. If anyone wants to do the apprentice, let Sue Cabras or me know as soon as possible. Please, go ahead. You had a question? Oh, okay. All right. All right. Blessings to everyone here.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey. Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
You too. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Martin. Bless you.
Have a good holiday.
Yes.
Yes, you too. Good night.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, Mary.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.